We're going into an interview at Bush Radio. I'm going to talk about relationships, life, and the secrets of how to make people love you.
So we got Meir Ezra here this morning in the studio. Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. Doing very well. And you?
First, I want to say thank you so much for joining us, giving us some of your time here this morning, and also obviously being here to educate lots of people in terms of business and, you know, what's going to be coming up in terms of your seminar and things like that. So I think before anything, I want you to give us a little introduction as to who you are and what it is that you do.
Okay. What I do,
Yeah.
I help people realize that they are perfect, and anything that is not perfect is not them. And once they realize that, once they stop blaming themselves, once they separate between them and their behavior, there is a magic that happens because they are so powerful.
Can I lift it up? Yeah.
They are so powerful that once you realize how powerful you are, nothing can stop you, not even you.
And so now, I look at some of these fundamentals that you obviously have right now. Was these things that you learned over the years? Because let's say we take you back 30 years back. Where was your head at versus where it is now?
Okay. So when I was born, I was born with some problem with my feet. And the doctor said that I would not walk ever. I was in cast for 6 years. Up to the age of 6, I couldn't walk. I couldn't do anything. But so my body didn't function well, but my mind was working overtime. And I realized that the body is nothing. It's just a slave, and I'm not going to be a slave to the body.
Slave to the body, yeah.
But the body will be my slave. And with that viewpoint, I realized that everything in life, if you consider that you are the boss and everything else is your servant, while allowing everyone else. So everything else is your servant, but everyone else is at least as boss as you.
Okay.
So if you realize that, if you are not finding people as your enemies, but as your friends, if you don't find what's wrong with people, but what's right with people, all of a sudden something amazing happens. You realize that machine you fix by finding what's wrong with them.
Yes.
People you fix by finding what's right with them.
What's right with them. Okay, interesting.
And all of a sudden you see that the beauty of people comes out, and the ability, they're starting to be willing to demonstrate their abilities, and everything become just perfect.
So now, I mean, obviously in your journey, man, where did this part come where you started understanding that fostering relationships within business helps you? Because I mean, I'm sure it was a learning process to get to this where you are right now, man. When did you start realizing this more about people in relationships?
Yes, so I've started to go into business. Yeah. And I saw that there's lots of problems with business, lots of problems. And people told me, well, you know, you need to get more qualified people. So you get more qualified people, you pay them more money, and you have bigger problems. Yeah. And then you think you need to get family, and you get family, and then you have problems with family.
With family, yeah.
And then you don't know what to do.
You don't find the right person.
Yeah, and you think, I don't know how to find the right people. And then you realize that you don't need to find the right people. Yeah. You need to fix you.
Okay.
And when you fix you, everyone else magically fixed. So I'll give you a quick story. There was this professor that was trying to fix the world.
Okay.
And he was working only on that, and he ignored his family and everything. But one day his wife got pissed off and said, this is the kid, I'm leaving, take him. Okay. And he's now got stuck with this kid, and he didn't know what to do with the kid. So he decided to...
True story or what?
No, just a story that will give you this the idea of what's happening. Okay. Yeah, the message. And so what he decided to do, he decided to take the map of the world, cut it into small pieces, give it to the kid, and give it to him as a puzzle to
put back together, yeah.
And he thought it will get him busy for a few hours. Anyway, 3 minutes later, 4 minutes later, the kid come and the map of the world is perfect.
Okay.
So the first thought of the professor was, oh, of course, it's my kid, you know.
Yeah. Yes, my brains, of course. Yeah.
But then he thought, nah, it cannot be. What's happening here? So he asked the kid and he said, how did you do it so fast? And he said, Daddy, it's very simple. Just before you cut the map of the world, I saw that on the other side there was a picture of a man.
Okay.
So when I fixed man, I fixed the world.
Wow. That's a powerful message in there.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
When you realize...
So that's the
That's what I realized. When I fix man, I fix the world. So, and how do you fix man? You start to fix yourself.
Yeah.
You realize that you are actually perfect, and what you are doing is not you. And when you realize that, you can fix what you're doing because you have a good viewpoint.
Yes.
Actually, the spirit cannot do anything bad. Cannot.
Yeah. So now let me take this as an example. So let's say you, for example, you fixing yourself. You've worked on yourself, but now you try to enlighten other people to do the same, but maybe they're not as willing to.
Yeah.
So whether it's in business, whether it's in life, whether it's family, it doesn't matter. How do you move further or go further ahead?
Okay.
While other people have not.
Yeah. So the only reason people seems to be unwilling.
Yeah.
Is because they've been made wrong for too long.
Okay.
So if someone come to you and say, this is bad, 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 you don't want to listen anymore.
Yeah.
But if someone start to admire you and say, this is amazing, and this is amazing, and this thing that's bad, I don't care about, because I know you didn't intend it. Your intention is good. You just don't know. You don't have the knowledge.
Okay.
So it's an accident. Fine. I don't care. But I see the beauty in you.
Yeah.
I refuse to admit that you are bad. I will admit that the actions are bad, that the result maybe are bad, but the result is not you.
Yes, 100%, yeah.
So once you realize that, all of a sudden, the willingness of the person improve, and there's a magic that happens that when the willingness is high, the barriers are small.
Okay.
And when the willingness is small, the barriers are insurmountable. You cannot overcome them.
So I mean, obviously, so you also trying to say that obviously once you start praising the good in the people, it's easier for them to become more successful and kind of magnify on those things.
They have to become.
Okay.
Because when you become yourself, you are on. If you'll see at any mistake that you've done, when you look back, you say, "It wasn't me. I don't know why I've done it. I knew it's not right."
Yeah.
You know, because you yourself, the spirit.
Tell that was not right, yeah.
You know. The definition of the word spirit is this thing that knows.
This thing that knows, okay.
So every time you do something bad is because you didn't know, which means it's not you.
100%. So it's obviously a learning, but now obviously in life as well, you get people that are going to get their feeling all the time and continue to do that. I'm not saying everyone, but what if you keep doing the same thing wrong and wrong? At this point, is it the spirit or now you just carrying on?
It seems like they do the same thing over and over again. Yeah. It's not. It's not. Because they're trying and they actually deteriorate. Because no one actually showed them, number one, how do you learn? How do you improve?
Okay.
So the first thing you need to know, or the first thing you need to learn, is how to learn. So the first thing I teach any person I meet is how do you learn? No one taught us how to learn, and we think we cannot learn. It's not true. Anyone can learn anything.
Yes.
And once you learn how to learn, I give you the basic principles that prove to you that you are good, that you are able, that nothing can stop you. And all of a sudden, on a gradient scale, like step by step, you see the person improve. Now, the definition of the word success is the sum of all validated improvements.
Okay.
So if you take a child and you tell him this is an improvement, that this is an improvement, that this is an improvement, this is an improvement, the child will start to realize that he's improving. And at one moment, you will say, wow, I'm successful. I can do that.
Okay.
If you realize that success is the sum of all validated improvements, you will become a radar for improvement. What people right now doing, they are radar for what's wrong. You take any person and they tell you, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Instead of saying, this is right, this is right, this is right, this is right.
Yeah.
So when you train this muscle of seeing what's wrong, your life become wrong.
And now, I mean, with everything that you've just said, and now you get someone that, let's say, is maybe scared to go into business. How do you kind of challenge them on that? Like, maybe they are good at what they do, but they're scared of taking that step. How do you get someone to be like, you know what, you actually take the step and actually do it? But you could say it, but it's not the same as getting them to do it. How do you get them on that path?
So the only time a person is scared is because he's got too big of a step to jump.
Okay.
If I will cut the step to something that he can chew,
he'll go for it.
Then he will go for it.
Okay, yeah.
So what we are specializing in is to take any situation and break it down to something that you can handle, not me, you.
You, okay.
And your step is different than his step. And when you really give to the person the correct step, together with the knowledge, it becomes for him a walk in the park, and he says, that's all? And that's all.
Yeah, that's all. Okay.
It's actually easier to be successful than to be a failure.
I got you. I actually got a couple of questions here that I decided to source for you. Just wanted to ask you something because I saw you're a spiritual businessman and using lots of that spiritualism in the business as well. So then, how does spirituality influence your approach to business success?
Okay, so if you really understand that you are not your body, you are a spirit. You don't have a spirit. You are a spirit. You have a body. You have a mind, like you have a car, like you have a wife.
Yes.
You have something, yes? Once you realize that you are a spirit, you look at the physical thing and say, okay, they are manifestation of me. So what should I fix? The business or the person?
Yeah. The
person, because the business is just the manifestation, is the result of me. If I drive a car and I do an accidents, everyday accidents, I will not buy a tank instead of a car to...
100%, yeah.
I will fix the driver.
Yeah.
So we need to fix the driver. And most people, when they go and try to handle businesses, they try to handle the processes. They try to handle the deals. They try to teach you how to sell. But all of this thing is doomed to fail because you didn't fix the source of the problem. Actually, when you don't fix the source of the problem grows.
Yeah.
And we specialize in finding the source of the problem, and it's always the spirit. It's never the physical thing.
So now, if you look at your journey in life, in business, and you go back and you think about some of the things, were there any places in your life where you considered something as a failure in there, and you kind of fixed yourself along the way? And what are some of the examples of that?
Okay, so in life, you can consider that you failed,
yes,
but you never actually failed because you continue.
Yeah.
You fail only if you say, okay, fine, I cannot continue.
And leave it there, yeah.
That's correct. Failure is just a concentration on the lack of improvements.
Yes.
But if I concentrate on the improvement, I will never fail. In this universe is built from plus and minus, good and bad, big and small, yes?
Yeah.
And good come before bad.
Okay.
You need to have a glass in order to break the glass. So there is first creation and then destruction.
Yes.
So there's always a little bit more good in everything, even if it seems that there is only bad.
Yeah.
And when people don't realize that, they will tell you, well, I've tried everything.
But they haven't.
No, there's not. They didn't try 0.1% of what's possible.
There's no finite amount of things that you could have tried. Yeah.
Because you are the spirit. You can bring something out of nothing.
Yeah.
You are so powerful that there is you are creating everything. So, of course, if you realize that, you stop buying the story of I'm weak, I can fail. You cannot fail.
But now, I know, I mean, it's easier to say these things, right? So let's say someone, look, I've met thousands and thousands and thousands of people. And then I also know that some people are also fundamentally going through some of their own emotional things.
Yeah.
Whether it be in their home place, whether it be within their family, their upbringing, where they grew up, how they grew up, went through pain, went through so many things. So now you got these people that sometimes feel crushed, or they've been through so much, and now you tell them something like this, and to them it's like, yeah, it's easy for you to say keep going, but some people just hit that black wall and they're like, this is the end for me.
Yeah.
And you try to move them away from their thoughts, even with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But still, it's not. It's like how it's to get something eternally out of them that's built into their character.
Yeah.
To tell them, listen, you can go further. They're like, but I can't.
Yeah, I know. So what you do, you don't tell them you can't go further.
Yes.
When a person feels that he is really in a bad position, first of all, you need to tell him, yes, I understand you are in a bad position.
Yes.
Totally acknowledge him.
Okay.
So this is a success for him. I validate his improvement, because his improvement was, I want to be a failure. I want to be an effect. I want to be someone that have pain. Okay, good. So now an improvement, you achieved that.
Yes.
Now I'm going to work with him best from that viewpoint. And there is a specific pieces of knowledge that I can take him and get him to look at something that will undo what he's thinking. And what do I mean? The truth actually remove lies. Is like light remove darkness.
Yes.
When you give a person a piece of truth, regardless of what he says, part of the darkness goes away.
Yes.
And since most people most of the time deal with lies, they add darkness.
Adds more darkness. I got you.
So you teach them stuff, and once you teach them truth, once you show them truth, darkness goes away automatically. It's almost magic. So, I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
Just one example, okay? So there was a child that was born. This is a true story that happened just 2-3 weeks ago. So I've got one of my students, and she had a child that was born, and she didn't cry. The baby did not cry.
Okay.
Didn't eat. Feeding tube. Like totally,
the baby just refused to eat.
Nothing. Like you see a body but no life.
Okay.
And she called me, and I went to see her, and I've done exactly that. I took the spirit. I communicated with the spirit of the baby.
Yeah.
Communicated with the spirit. Handled the spirit. The feeding tube went out. She started to eat. Not only that, and we've got online videos of that. She started to cry. She started to smile. And life changed. Because when you actually handle the spirit and not the machine,
yes,
the spirit recognizes truth. You know when it's true. You know when someone lied to you. Yeah. Someone can tell you, I love you, but you know. You want to believe, but you know it's not.
Yes.
And when you recognize truth, it's not about believing, because believing is something temporary. Someone asked me, do you believe in God? I said, no, I know there is God.
I know, okay. Yeah.
If I need to believe in God, it's temporary. Today I believe, tomorrow I don't believe.
Yes.
And I need always reinforcement, because belief needs reinforcement. But when I know, I know there is God, I know my name, I don't need reinforcement. I don't believe my name is Meir.
Yeah.
I know. So when you really know that the spirit is the actual boss, and when you start to communicate with the spirit, and when you ignore the show of the physical universe, what you get is unbelievable magic.
So I mean, that's why I wanted to make a point to say that, does it mean that in every single discipline of life you can use the same thing? Because whether someone has depression, whether someone has anxiety, someone has passed away, you're dealing with this, whatever, you could go straight to the core and be like, but this is actually the problem, and this is how we could step from out of that.
Yeah, handle the source of the problem.
Source of it, okay.
Instead of the manifestation. You take drugs, you handle the manifestation. Yeah. The problem become bigger. You get depressed. This is your handling of the manifestation.
Yes.
It's not the actual source of the problem. The handling is to handle the spirit, to get in communication with the spirit. And how do you communicate with the spirit? Only with truth.
Okay.
Truth is the language of the spirit. Lies is the language of the physical universe.
At least got I got something from the seminar before it even started. Yeah, and I think everyone as well did. I mean, if these are some of the messages that is going to be coming out of the seminar, I think it's going to be a really amazing one for lots of people to learn some good stuff. I got a couple of more questions for you, man. So, can you explain how incorporating spiritual practices or principles can enhance one's business performance?
Yes. So, if you know that you know, if you know that you're a spirit, what happens is you can recognize truth.
Okay.
I define the word clever as the ability to recognize truth. If I can recognize truth and I don't deal with lies, I cannot not bring results.
Yeah.
If I can recognize that the button on your console here, this is the volume and this is the truth, and I can actually control the right button, I cannot not bring result.
100%.
So when you bring a person to recognize truth, you see that this person become a giant amongst men. You put in a boardroom, you put in a business, someone that recognizes truth. He knows what the problem of the client. He will close the client.
Yes.
He knows what the problem of the supplier. He will fix the supplier. He knows what's the problem with the air condition. He will fix the air condition.
In every single
area. If I know what's the problem of marketing, I will bring result with marketing. If not, I will use excuses.
Okay.
Excuses is a manifestation of lack of knowledge.
Once you know, you can bring the result.
Yes. And if not, how do you know? There's a term that I use that called fake reality.
Fake reality, okay.
This term that called fake reality. What is a fake reality? Fake reality is a piece of information that you are 100% sure is true, But when you use it, it doesn't bring the expected result.
Yeah.
So, for example, I'm 100% sure that the only way to handle my wife is to shout at her. But when I shout at her, there's no improvement.
It doesn't work, yeah.
Yeah, so it's fake reality. But I know, so I'm in a doubt. On the one hand, I know this is true. I need to shout at her. But on the other hand, there's no result. So I'm sitting in a doubt, which result in no action.
Yes.
So how do you fix this thing? You fix this thing by gaining knowledge, by finding the truth.
Okay.
And how do you know that you have the truth? There's an improvement, an immediate improvement, not tomorrow, right now.
And look, now what about when so let's say you know the certain way, but maybe the way you execute it is not right, and then you find different ways within a certain discipline as to what's wrong with it. Okay, so like let's use the wife, shouting at the wife, for example. You shout at the wife, it doesn't work, but you do it in any case.
Yeah.
So no, that's your immediate response. You try something else. Let's just say, for example, that doesn't work either.
Yeah.
Do we just keep going until we find the one that works?
No, we don't try. Because when you find the truth,
you will just
there is an immediate result. There is no delay. If I tell you, for example, the reason you have a problem with marketing is because you actually never done a survey, so you don't really know what the customer sells. So you try to sell yourself. This is a piece of truth. Now, once I tell you that, immediately, right now, you immediately think, yes, this is actually what's happening with my marketing. I never surveyed the customers, so I guess what they want, and I give them usually what I want, not what they want, so obviously they're not coming.
Yes.
But if you find the truth, immediately there is an improvement.
Okay, so next question to you is, do you believe that spirituality can contribute to ethical decision-making in business? And if so, how?
Well, the spirit, as we say, is perfect.
Yeah.
Once you are spiritual, you cannot do something that is not right. It's just against your grain. You cannot. Once you are you, once you don't put in front of you all of these wrong glasses that hide life from you, you actually see the truth. And when you see the truth, you cannot escape from it. So who can be ethical? Only the blind. That's why the criminal always eventually get caught. That's why the criminal is also always stupid. That's why criminals always are cowards, because they don't see the truth, so they don't know what they're dealing with.
So I mean, with that in a nutshell, are you also telling me that lots of people are not living the truth, or not living the truth?
Yeah.
Most of the time. Because you have like these big layers of lies on top of lies covering up. This is the reason I do this, but that's not actually the reason. This is why I do that. But, I mean, who are you bear as the soul, So what is it? Yeah. Why do you not do what you're supposed to do if you know?
Yeah. So if you know, you will.
Yeah.
And how do you know that you are lying? Because you give a reason.
Okay.
When I'm successful, I don't need to give a reason. My success give the reason.
That's the manifestation of it all. That's
like
success.
It's here. I don't need to explain.
Yeah.
I don't need to explain why I have only $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because I'm successful. It's there. When I'm not successful, I start to explain. The moment that you find yourself explaining something, you need to know I'm dealing with lies.
Okay.
There is when you know, you don't explain. You don't explain. My name is because of...
Yes. Yeah, I think there's an old saying that says only the guilty explain.
Exactly.
Like I'm going to tell you this because... No, I couldn't do it because I wasn't... I was in a...
Lying. He's lying. Next.
Okay.
Talk about.
So can you provide strategies for maintaining a healthy work life, balance while pursuing entrepreneurial endeavors?
Yeah. The best strategy is to start training yourself to look what's good in people and not what's bad. If you will take just for 2 hours, that you will take on yourself a challenge, 2 hours, not more, that in these 2 hours you don't find any fault with anyone. Any fault, whatever they do, find what's right with them. I'll give you a real story that happened to me that will give you
some clarity.
This idea of really when someone finds fault with other people is because of what he's doing.
Yes.
It's not because they're really bad.
Okay.
And this is a personal story with my son. My son was about, I think, 5-6 years old.
Oh, just saying, talking about this one over here. He's like, don't talk about me.
He was 5-6 years old, and he had a very good friend and his friend was named Caden, and he came one day home and he showed me that Caden hit him. He had really a bruise, and he cried and he said, Caden hit me, I hate him, I want you to go and hit him. And he was like really upset. So I got him to get upset, to relax. Yeah. And I asked him, tell me, what did you do to Caden? And he started to cry. Why don't you see? He hit me. It's him.
Yeah, but what did you do?
What did you do against Caden? And he says, well, it's him. And I said, okay, good. So what are you hiding from him? And he was crying and crying. And I said, what did you do to Caden? What did you hide from him? What did you do? What did you hide? And I continued with him like that. I knew 100% that if he's complaining, he's wrong.
Okay.
And after 5, 6, 7 minutes, he told me, I stole his sandwich in the morning.
Wow.
And so, okay. At that moment, no more crying, no more blaming.
Because it was the truth now.
The truth now. Now there is the handling. Okay, so what do you want to do? And he said, well, I'll give him this toy and this toy. I said, well, no problem. I called Caden's dad. I spoke to him for a second. I explained the situation. I got my son to speak to Caden. They spoke. They came up to whatever agreement. And I went back to my office. And 2 minutes later, my son came to my office and told me, Daddy, can I go to play with Caden? And I said, no, it's too late. It's like 8 p.m. in the evening. And now he's crying because he wants to go and see him.
Okay.
Yeah. So once you find the truth, everything goes away. The truth opened the door for handling.
100%. So I'm also going to go out on a limb and just speak to general listeners. Also, I'm from general South Africans. It's that I don't think there's a willingness to get into the truth just yet. But this is why they need to come to the seminar.
Yes, exactly.
And they need to find a little bit more about that. Look, I gave people a bit of an update also before you got here. So it's called What Relationships Calming the Storm of Your Happiness, Health and Wealth. Live and live stream seminar. So it's happening at Workshop 17 at the at the Watershed, V&A Waterfront. So just a little bit of information about it, when they can come out, how they can get those tickets, and we just get all the information where they can come to get the full part of what we're chatting about.
So you can find a link online, and I think it's gprosperity/relationships.
Yeah.
gprosperity.com/relationships. It is at 3 p.m. on Friday.
Yeah.
You can, even if you didn't register, you can arrive there and pay at the door. I think the price is 100 rand.
Yeah.
So it's like nothing. I'm paying you to come.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yes. And you have money back guarantee. If by the end of the 3 hours you didn't get what you consider that will change your life, not just help you, change your life, like totally life-changing. If it's not totally life-changing, at the end of the seminar, you get your money back.
You get your money back.
Yeah. So you have zero risk and everything to gain. Because if what I tell you is true, you will see that Friday at 6 p.m., you will start to become you.
Okay, I got you. Any final things that you want to share with them before we jump on out of here?
I think that if you will take this challenge, just for the next 2 hours, and just find what's good with people, and tell them what you see.
Yeah.
You will see that your life will change. If you are sick, you will become healthy. If you have pain, you will have pleasure. If you are worried, you will become happy.
Okay.
Try that for 2 hours.
I'm going to try it. I'm going to get back to you. I'm going to tell you how it worked out for me. Listen, and if people want to check you out on social media, I know you've been doing lots of videos, lots of quotes, lots of posts. People obviously need to follow you and see what you've been doing outside of the seminar as well. Where can they go check you out?
Yeah, and they can go to Instagram, Meir Ezra Official.
Okay.
It's MEIREZRA Official, Meir Ezra Official. And you can go to gprosperity.com. This is our website. Or just type my name. You'll find I've got thousands of videos and testimonials and whatever.
Meir Ezra, it's been an absolute pleasure having you here. Unfortunately, my time has come to an end of our conversation, but we're going to continue this on the PSA podcast.
Yes.
We have to.
We will.
But other than that, everybody should definitely come out. Like I said, the seminar's happening this Friday, the Watershed. $100 gets you in. I said it's life-changing. I mean, I think you've learned something even from this conversation. And I really do appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
So nothing but all the best on that.
Thank you for all the listeners for listening. Thank you.